There was no mistake. There was no accident. It was just destiny. I'm self-created. Don't give up on who you are. Your spirit and your faith defines your beauty. Everyone has to come together. We can change the world.
Gaga, you're still on the record with Fuse. You ready for part 2?
I just need another cup of tea. Yes, I'm ready.
Gaga, when you get up in the morning, do you feel insecure and not fully superstar Gaga, and you have to sort of kick yourself in the butt and say, you're a superstar, get out there and be the star that you know you can be? You have to turn your swag on?
Most mornings I feel wonderful. I feel great. I'm so happy. I feel so blessed. I feel more confident and fearless than I've ever felt before. And some mornings, just like everybody, I wake up and I've got to put my boxing gloves on and sock myself in the face and say, bitch, get to work. It's time to go. They're waiting for you. The show must go on.
Because sometimes you feel like the loser you said you felt like in high school, right?
You know, those wounds never go away. They're buried deep. You don't see the scars maybe anymore. Maybe they're just really small and you put Eucerin cream on them to make them fade. But sometimes they resurface, just like with anything in your life that haunts you. That's really what Judas is about. Releasing the things that haunt you, releasing the things that you regret. Judas is about saying, if I never went through that, I wouldn't be where I am now. The idea that Judas was the ultimate betrayer. But in fact, if that had never occurred, the ultimate prophecy of life would not have been fulfilled.
Right.
So it's a metaphor for struggle and perseverance.
Tell me about the Judas video.
I directed it with Lorianne Gibson, a longtime collaborator and very close friend of mine. She's a choreographer as well. Amazing. And what I wanted to say with this video, similarly to how I've pushed my music in the past, layering an additional metaphor on top of any metaphors that may be already existing within the music. We talked about the statement, if they were not who you were taught that they would be, would you still believe? So in the video, it is inspired by this sort of hybrid of motorcycle Fellini. I am Mary Magdalene riding and surging down the highway with the apostles on motorcycles, and their leather jackets read Thomas, John, Bartholomew, Thaddeus, Peter, Judas. And as we're surging down the highway, we go to meet Jesus, and we go to a bar, and we preach to the town people, and we walk through a street, and we hold hands with all of the unique followers in the village. But it's modern day Jerusalem, so everything about the video feels like it could be today. I wanted to create the feeling that if they were here now, which when you watch the video, you want them to be here. I really want the apostles to be real. I want it all to be real.
Why?
It's so powerful and inspirational, and they're revolutionaries, and they're badass, and they're preaching about love. And it's not about Christianity, and it's not about Catholicism, and it's not about religion. It's just about identity. It's about saying, we can change the world. All you gotta do is speak your mind. All you gotta do is be together and fight forward. And in the video, there is a moment between myself and Jesus and Judas, and it is the moment of the infamous Judas Kiss. And the reenactment of this kiss is almost as if we were all in on it the whole time. There was no mistake. There was no accident. It was just destiny. You have to walk through the fire in order to reach the clearance.
Right, surely Jesus knew what would happen. I gotta say that I've never met anybody your age who seems as knowledgeable about high art as you are. You talk about Fellini and Bacon and Warhol and Dali, and these are just normal things that are just part of, you know, the Gaga robot. And I mean, it's pretty extraordinary that you have educated yourself about the people who came before you and decades before you in this short a time.
Well, I'm obsessed with pop culture.
But we're not talking about pop culture. We're talking about Fellini and Francis Bacon and
Well,
Andy
they're not
Warhol.
modern pop culture, but there was a time when they were the most heralded artists. And Warhol, although appreciated more after his time, was the king of pop art.
Yeah.
He is pop art. And it's interesting to me, as I'm attempting to push the boundaries of mainstream pop music and commercial pop music, that Warholian concepts, like the ones that I've used in the telephone video.
Your whole life is Warholian.
Well, the House of Gaga is in essence my factory. But with the Judas video, it's very Warholian to use iconography to make a statement about pop culture.
Sure.
But what's interesting is that he did it so long ago, and for some reason, everyone still gets so pissed off. And you'd think that 30 years later, everyone would have settled down and realized that it's whimsical and fun and important, and that it changes lives.
Can you describe your fashion aesthetic? Like, what is Gaga style?
It changes all the time, but right now, avant-garde, high street fashion.
I mean, I see you with, you know, big shoulders, big shoes. It's very graphic. It seems to have become more sheer as time has gone on versus, I think, 2 years ago. More likely to be in nude colors.
Yes, I changed. I've been wearing a lot of black. I really like wearing black. I don't know, I think of it very differently. I view it as a sort of expression in my music. So the album is avant-garde pop music with a sort of high art street sensibility. And so that's what my fashion sense is now.
And I think one thing that people didn't understand when you were emerging as a super mega icon is that you understand that fashion is not just below the chin, it's also the hat. And sometimes they'd obscure your face and sometimes they wouldn't. And the super high fashion people understood, like, she understands fashion goes head to toe.
It's part of who I am. It's part of my blood and my bones.
But the hats, you know, and even when they cover your face, you're like, that's part of the whole thing.
Well, part of what Born This Way is all about, and the cover, the Moto Centaur. And that cover represents so much to me.
Is it a Harley that you are?
Yes, it's an Easy Rider. I am half fantasy and half reality. Mm-hmm. And I am endless in my ability to transform. Mm-hmm. And I'm also always in a constant state of journey. And I am married to the process. I'm not riding anywhere. You don't see the bike going.
It's not in motion.
Away from or towards anything.
It's not on a road.
It's not on a road. It's in space. It's in blackness, emptiness. For me, the motorcycle represents the ride. Me as the bike represents me as a woman on the run, a woman on a ride, a never-ending ride in space, in time, that ultimately propels me further and further towards my artistry. And in that way, when you take a step back and you look at it, it's sort of, I am the sculptor, I am the art piece, I am an expression of my artistic ideas.
Mm-hmm. Why is your name not on the cover?
For no particular reason. It is on the special edition cover. When I put my first album out, The Fame, we put the title really small on my glasses and put my name really big because we wanted everyone to know who I was.
Now you don't have to put your name.
No, it's just that now I would like the message to precede the icon, the ego. It's not about Lady Gaga anymore. It's about my fans. I wanted Born This Way to be the thing that was highlighted, and I would like my name to be synonymous with those words.
Take me to you drinking with your parents in a bar that you guys have been in, going to for years, and your sister's there, and it's that, you know, when the old family unit comes together, you kind of snap back into those old family roles that you had when you were a teenager. Are you still Gaga, or do you go back to Stephanie?
Well, I'm both. You know, there's no separation between Lady Gaga and Stephanie. It's just that I changed my name.
But you are different.
Oh, I'm so different now. But if you were to ask my parents or ask my sister, they would tell you that I am more myself now and happier than I've ever been in my life. It took me a long time to figure out who it was that I wanted to be and what I wanted to say and what I wanted to do. But I committed so strongly to it. And ultimately, it was that very thing that made all my dreams come true. So I'm the same way with my family that I am with you now. And they love me for who I am.
Well, that's clear. I met your mom. She's so proud of you, and she's clearly so supportive.
We look exactly alike. It's so funny. I try to hide her because, you know, I want to keep my family so sacred, but she looks just like me. So when she's in the room, the jig is up.
No, as soon as she walked in, she's got blonde hair. She's got you have her face.
The nose. It's all about the nose. We share the nose.
You fought so hard as part of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal movement, and it has quote unquote been repealed, although slowly.
Yeah, it hasn't been signed off on yet.
Right. So the fight is not over, although a certain battle has been won. Are you happy with where we are as a government, as a nation with that, or is there still more to be fought on that issue?
I am hopeful that it's moving forward. I'm hopeful that we won that initial sort of fight. I'm going to continue to fight with the world and with my generation, the battle for full equality.
I thought it was so powerful of you to show up to a major award show with a slew of gay soldiers who'd been wrongly dismissed. And it was so much in what you're saying. It's not an ego gesture. It's about promoting the cause that means so much to you.
The meat dress was such a cultural storm, right? And everybody was, what's wrong with her? It's weird, or whatever they felt about it. But those who paid attention to what I was doing from a political side, the political activism, the cultural activism, the social activism, the name of my speech when I spoke in Maine was the prime rib of America. And what I said in that speech is that equality is the prime rib of the Constitution. Equality is the greatest cut of meat that our country has to offer. And I wore the meat dress with the soldiers as a statement about our cry for wanting them to have the greatest cut of meat that the world has to offer, for wanting all soldiers and all people to be valued as equal, and to open the door, not to shut the door.
I don't think people got that. Those of us who saw you with the soldiers found that powerful. I think most people missed the meat dress. Does it dismay you when you make a statement like the meat dress and so many people seem to miss the point?
No, at some point it will all come together.
Because the meat dress was one of your big moments that people were like, oh my God, zone in, love it, don't understand it.
all of my favorite artists were not appreciated until they were dead. So maybe some of my greatest artistic statements won't be acknowledged until I'm dead.
So is the next fight for you gay marriage?
That is one of the fights that I will be certainly doing everything I can to mobilize my fan base and the generation that I'm a part of, but just full equality in general and social justice, fighting the battle against bullying, fighting the battle against schools and education, not valuing every student and every kind of young person. These are all the sorts of things that I'm interested in. But I do also feel that the album addresses these issues in an overarching celebratory way.
There's very few people who've ever gotten to the level of fame that you're already at, and you're only going up higher and higher as you go along. And some of the other people have talked about that it becomes very difficult to trust people when you're that super famous. Are you getting to that point of like, I can't trust people anymore, it's changed?
You know, you can't live your life that way. You can't live in fear. But it's important to be protective of the things that are important to you, no matter what. I don't think trust is any different for me than it is for anybody else.
But what people who are around you, who come to you, can get from you or might want to get from you, be it financial or just the ability to say, I was with Gaga, I met Gaga, I know Gaga, is far greater than any normal person.
You know what? I'm from New York City, and I fought from the bottom all the way to the top, and I'm a pretty no bitch when it comes to that stuff, and it's really hard to pull the wool over my eyes, so no, I'm not worried about that.
What are you listening to that's not Gaga music?
I listen to Edith Piaf a lot lately, and Iron Maiden.
And that is the dichotomy of you, right?
Well, you'll hear both those influences in the album in different ways.
Yeah.
Edith Piaf has always been a vocal inspiration for me. And Maiden, I think it's the theatrics of the show, their commitment to their sound, their commitment to their fans, the epic nature of what they create. I went to an Iron Maiden show last week, and it changed my life. Changed my life.
How?
Because their fans were just so rad, and they were just fist pumping in the air and singing every word to every song. And you know, Iron Maiden isn't #1 on the charts right now, and it doesn't matter.
They love it.
They're a culture. It's so much bigger than the industry. Iron Maiden is a religion.
As Lady Gaga is.
Well, you said that, not me.
So you finished Born This Way. You working on the next one yet?
I've already started thinking about it. I fear my brain may explode onto the floor if we start talking about it.
Do you have anything going? Any songs or any?
Not that I would ever tell you about.
Just me. It's just us talking here.
Yeah, right, and 50 cameras.
Tell us a little bit about the Born This Way tour, which I know you've already conceived.
It's not entirely conceived, but I do know that I want it to be a ball, like what we have done before. But I want to continue the extension of the Monster Ball. So I think it's going to be called something along the lines of the Born This Way Ball, the third Monster Ball. So the evolution of the Monster Ball will continue on forever, and will be more like a endless running musical than a tour.
Wow. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm very grateful to Fuse for having me, and thank you for believing in me so much.